For today's watch review, we're taking a look at the Victorinox automatic I.N.O.X. This one is the blue dialed version, so that's model number 241835. And before we get into the review, for anyone curious, I.N.O.X stands for Impact Neutralizing Object for the Extremes. Starting off with price, this goes for $875 MSRP, but a more realistic price you will find online is around $525 before taxes. And let's do that quick 360 just so you can see what we're working with here. So here's one side, there's the case back, there's the clasp, and here is the other side. Going over dimensions, for the diameter we are looking at 43 millimeters. If we include the crown, that goes up to 47.5 millimeters. For case height, that comes in at 13.5 millimeters. And then a lug to lug of 52.7 millimeters. And then a band width of 21 millimeters. For weight, this is a pretty heavy watch, just under 200 grams. So we're looking at 196 grams or just under 7 ounces. And here's how it looks on my 7.5 inch wrist. Starting from the outside and working our way in. For the case material, it is stainless steel for the case and the bracelet. And if we look at the crown, we've got a signed crown. It is a screw down crown. And then after that, the crystal is a sapphire crystal with 3 layers of anti-reflective coating. And then underneath that, we've got applied indices with lume. And the dial, if you can see, is the I.N.O.X material, which is also commonly used on Victorinox knife handle scales. We do have a date window right there between the 4 and 5 o'clock. And then underneath all of that, we've got a ETA 2824-2 movement that comes with a 38-hour power reserve. We also have a screw down crown. And all of this comes with 200 meters of water resistance. The I.N.O.X also comes with this protective plastic or resin bumper, and you just pop it right on top right there. I'm not going to do it because it's a pain in the ass to put it on and get it off, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'm never going to use this. And I mean, if you use it, more power to you, but this is not the reason why I got the I.N.O.X. Here is the Lume Shot. As you can see, we've got it applied on all of the indices, the hands, and the Victorinox logo at the 12 o'clock position, which is a very nice touch. Unfortunately, it's not the longest lasting lume, and at this price range I would have liked to have seen a very superior lume, but we can discuss that later. Taking a closer look at that dial, it is made out of the I.N.O.X material, which is aluminum that has gone through a process called alloxyl, and it's the same exact material they use on a lot of their handle scales. And the reason why they chose this material was to differentiate the automatic I.N.O.X from the quartz I.N.O.X. And I've always felt that it was a very good looking material, looks very professional, and I like the fact that it is on this watch. For the bezel, unfortunately, we have a non-functioning, non-rotating bezel here. I say unfortunate, that's just my opinion. However, what we do have is something very unique. So it is a circular bezel, however, the way that they beveled portions of the edge make it look like a hexagonal bezel. And in my opinion, I think that's great. It's just a very unique design choice. So on the hexagonal portion of it, you've got a brushed finish and then a polished finish on the beveled edges. You know, something unique, cool to look at. People will definitely notice it on your wrist. It is also just barely raised above the crystal, so it will also give you just that much more protection if you were to have it fall flat on its face. Taking a look at the crown, we do have a signed screw down crown. And yes, we do have very robust crown guards right here. However, these do not get in the way at all with the operation of the crown. So the way that it's textured, the way that they engineered it, it's super easy to get your hands on it and operate the crown. And let me tell you, the threading is fantastic. How they made it fit with the case, everything about it is beautiful. And as you're feeling it, you can really feel the quality. And when you're hand winding the movement and adjusting the time, it really doesn't get any better, or it doesn't get much better than the I.N.O.X. This is probably one of the best quality crowns I have ever experienced. For the bracelet, very comfortable bracelet here. Very easy to adjust with just standard spring pins holding the links together. And then we do have a milled steel clasp, deploying clasp here. Very good quality. I would have preferred a push button locking clasp. However, this type of hook latch is fine too. Just something that caught me off guard because I'm used to locking clasps at this price range. And then the safety tab right here with the Victorinox logo. We also have an extension. I'm not sure if it's a diver's extension or just a, I don't know, just an extension for whatever reason, but here you go. So in order to access it, you would just basically just pull on this end of the bracelet and it would come up. You've also got the 3 micro adjusts, so very easy to get that perfect fit. Taking a look at that case back, this was really the main selling point for me. Once I saw pictures of the I.N.O.X case back, it was a done deal because I am a sucker for very good looking case backs. And of course it's a subjective opinion, but for me, the way that this case back looks is on another level. Something that you're used to is the case back, whether it's an exhibition or display case back or a solid one, you know, they screw on top of the exterior. This one, I don't know if you can see that, but it screws into the case. So it blends or merges into one. And so that just looks very attractive to me because it's as if they had very tight tolerances for both pieces, the case and the case back, and they were able to make it appear as if it was one solid piece. Also, just something about ETA movements are very attractive to me. And I know just looking at it, you know, with a quick glance, you know, most movements all look the same, but I don't know, maybe just how the Swiss watch market finishes their movements, it just looks so much better. Like they all have tool-like qualities, and that is something that I very much admire. Finishing overall is solid. You can definitely tell that Victorinox took their time and effort into producing this watch. We do have a brushed finish throughout the entirety of the case and bracelet. And then of course you can see where they polished it. giving it a very unique and interesting appearance. You know, it's not something that is static. It's got a very dynamic look to it. So at different angles, you will always see something different on this watch. In my opinion, and I'm not saying that this is a G-Shock, but I will say that this is probably the closest thing to a Swiss G-Shock that you're ever going to get to. Let's go ahead and discuss some of the tests that Victorinox put the I.N.O.X through, starting off with a sulfuric and nitric acid solution test. They then dropped the watch 10 meters onto a concrete surface, which is the equivalent of dropping it from a 3-story building. They also exposed the I.N.O.X to fire for more than 1 minute at 1200 plus degrees Celsius. They also drove over it with a tank weighing up to 64 tons. And they also placed it 2 hours in a washing machine at 90 degrees Celsius with a full spin cycle. So it's one thing to call your watch a tough watch, but the fact that they actually put the watch through these tests and it was capable of resisting and coming out still working after those tests, I really believe deserves special attention and respect. I will be the first one to admit that the I.N.O.X is probably not for everyone. It's a larger watch, it's a heavy watch, and a lot of people aren't into that kind of thing. But for the large majority of EDC guys and gear collectors and military, law enforcement, you name it, something like this is very appreciated and desired. And despite its size and weight, I do believe that it wears very comfortably. It is an ergonomic watch. The thickness at just over 13 millimeters is actually quite reasonable. For me, 13 to 14 millimeters is not unreasonable. And you know, I've worn this doing physical activities, doing yard work, working out at the gym, and it has been nothing but comfortable. There are only really 2 negatives that I can think of that I believe the watch community as a whole will agree on. And these negatives aren't even really that bad in the first place. So number 1 is the lume. It's not that great. It doesn't really last through the entirety of the night. And I feel like if this is really a tough watch that is supposed to be used and abused out in the field, then it should also have a lume that is very strong for the entirety of the night. And then the other negative is the clasp. I feel like it should have come with a push button locking clasp, not just a hook clasp or a hook latch. However, those negatives are very minor, and I was just being very nitpicky to come up with something to show a balanced review. My overall thoughts are that this is a solid watch, excellent quality from top to bottom. Everything about it is purpose built, and the quality of the caseback, the dial, the crown, the bracelet, everything is something that is awe-inspiring. So if you do like this watch, you like the way that it looks, and it fits your price range, I highly recommend it. That's all I gotta say. I hope that this review helps you with your next watch purchase. Thank you for watching. Make sure to tune in for my next episode, and if you get a chance, join the Discord server. We got really good people on there, really great conversations, and I do giveaways from time to time. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.